Hello, 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 everybody. Hopefully everyone in chat is doing well. Oh, really fucking cold right now. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, this is freezing. It's not freezing, but it's just like been a bit warmer lately, and I'm not used to being so cold. I've had like shorts on, and I've come into my office, and it's like, oh, getting my blanket on. Hi, Red Hot, thank you for joining. My nice little... Oh! My nice little blanket that's been, like, eaten up by the wheels of my chair right now. Like, Low and Stitch. Pink Christmas blanket. But it's allowed to stay out because it just stays in the office. No one else knows that, like, the Christmas blanket is still around. Oh! Oh, that's a little... Oh, I was about to say you'd think we can't afford heating, but I don't know if anyone could afford heating nowadays. Use blankets, you know. Being clever about things. Okay, my camera went off for a second. Seems to be working again, though. Camera test completed. I did see the Destiny stream. I did. Oh. And, you know, I've not actually played any Destiny today, but that's exactly what I'm going to be doing when the stream is over. But I mean, I was already excited for the idea of, like, you know, the vinyl shape in general and stuff. And it's more that I was like, I don't know how I'm feeling about the idea of, like, after is the main problem for me. But man, yeah, that stream was some hype shit. That's the thing, I never think I'm out, but I'm way more excited now after today's stream, like, than I thought I was gonna be. Also, hey, Dark Magician. There's Dark Magician coming in chat. Be honest. Oh no! But yeah, the idea of, like, all the Destiny shit of just like, yeah, we're just gonna start making things go, like, incredibly fucking wild. You can just do whatever the fuck you want. I'm like, okay, fantastic. No, blink white up! Don't run back into the fire and the flames. Not a good idea. But yeah, I can definitely imagine from, like, today's stuff that quite a few people are in the same boat as you, Red Heart, of, like, just, oh, well, I thought I might have been done with Destiny, but goddamn, that looks cool. My partner's gone missing and these red guys are everywhere. I should have never come here. Probably not, Cobalt. Before I came in here, I saw a weird-looking blonde girl get dragged away. Don't even dream about going to rescue. Those bodies were everywhere. If you want to live to live again, one day you should head home for. You should head for home, pal. I'm like, yeah, that was just really weirdly read. But yes. Yeah, I like the idea that as well, like, I saw some people in the comments like, well, I'm mad they didn't give us the darkness power. And I'm like, this is way cooler than just giving us another subclass. Like, the letting us live, like, the fucking Star Wars fanboy wet dream. Of, like, be both sides at once, become duality. Hang on. No. Oh, we got it. I can imagine it's a big deal lore-wise, yeah. I have not watched any videos on anything. I scrolled Twitter a little bit after I watched it, and was like, oh, yep, cool. It's not just me that seems super duper hyped on this shit. Like, I'm not being jaded or anything. Well, I guess that would be like the opposite of jaded, right? Like I'm not just like giving them too much of the benefit of the doubt and getting hype over nothing. It's like, no, everyone is like, this looks insane. And obviously the questions come in of like, immediately it's like, how much are you gonna let us go crazy and do combos and shit? But from the sounds and looks of the explanations, it like a lot, from what it seems like. Oh god, these things. They appear to be creatures of very significant physical ability. Yeah, any day arrival. Hi Alex, thank you for joining. We are good. Just saying how there's like been a new Destiny. A content update would be just like developer stream of like, oh yeah, like new content coming in June looks real fucking cool and stuff. So, lots to be excited about there. And then new content today as well. It's also nice stuff. But yeah, Zelda-wise, we've only just kicked off the dungeon, and this sounds very loud right now. I'm wondering if that was far too loud on everyone else's end. Let me know. I am going to turn it down a little bit. It seems like that might have been quite loud. But yeah, the moment we got into battle, my headphones were like screaming at me. Okay, that fight feels like it was significantly easier than it used to be. Because obviously, with the HD version of the game, you can just do that and just spam. Whereas, unless you want to move your arm that quickly every time during combat, that wasn't really a thing in... And you couldn't really do, like, continual, like, one motion up over and over again. Because obviously you've got to lower your hand just as quickly. So it was always, like, doing it that way. So yeah, it is certainly, like, a little bit broken in a sense, because literally the game was not developed with that ability and combat in mind. Oh, I wonder what we have to do. And it's one of those arguments where I get how frustrating it would be to go into a dungeon or temple or whatever you want to call them, and in this moment you have to use a slingshot to hit that bomb and you don't have any seeds. I understand fundamentally that that is frustrating, but what is also frustrating when you're talking about a game that's meant to be having puzzles is that when you walk into a room and I acquire the item that I need, like when I dig something up and all of a sudden for no, well, not for no reason, but for seemingly very little reason, all of a sudden I've just got 2 sets of seeds when I've not been getting seeds from any other dig hole. That seems a bit suspicious. That means that I'm going to have to use the slingshot. And it's almost the equivalent of when, you know, people have and go at like PlayStation games and stuff, or when you walk into a room, like Atreus in God of War is like, oh, you might want to hit that switch over there, Dad, and it's like, yeah, I guess I haven't walked into the room properly and examined everything yet, but I guess you were correct. I guess that's the answer to the puzzle. Yeah, they're loading you up, and like, it's just one of those things of, yeah, I still have to do the puzzle myself, but you've given me the answer before I've even had the chance to look around. And I guess it's not really a fix to then not give you any ammo, because it would also be very frustrating if, like, the opposite happened and you went in and you required a certain item, and the game just went, lol, you don't have ammo, get wrecked. So it's like putting quality of life before the sake of wanting the players to have like a good discovery. Like, yeah, it's hard to balance. It's hard to get it right because some people are going to get frustrated by one way, some people are going to get frustrated by the other. Do me a favor and get a bomb bag. Oh, look, we're panicked and hit the road, and it looks like I dropped my bomb. Okay. Well, I wonder what a bomb bag is for. It's a bomb. It's a bag for carrying bombs. Yeah. Yes, like, you could do it where you could find the seeds earlier in the temple. And I guess maybe, I think in Ocarina of Time's first dungeon, in the Deku Tree, it kind of does something similar. That's because, like, there are respawning bits of shrubs. There are, like, a few respawning shrubs that just grow back after a few, like, you know, 20 seconds or whatever. And I think they can drop, like, Deku seeds for your slingshot when you eventually acquire the slingshot. And it's like, it's at the start of the temple, so it's not necessarily saying you need it for this room once here. It's just, hey, you can get it at a couple of points throughout the temple, but... And then to stop, you know, people being too frustrated, it also happens to be a respawnable thing. At the same time, just, you know, can't think of many other examples where any game really does that. And in the first temple in, like, the Deku Tree, that's the first dungeon of the game, and you're quite aware, really, that, well, I've just acquired this slingshot, it's the only thing that I have. I'm probably going to need to use it. So it's not really much of a puzzle at that point anyway, but... Look at just the speed on them, though. Just Link is swiping so fast, and they're like light speed dodge on the go. So I'm just going to try and kill this one as quickly as I can. There we go. Oh, how do I do this? Oh, panic mode. Setting it in. Sending the bugs. Oh no, I lost the Zalfo's tail. That was probably worth way more than a heart is. Yeah. A lot harder to fight in the old version, for sure, but still a little bit of trouble. A little bit of trouble. I guess that is one advantage to the Skyward Sword battle system, though. Yeah, you still have to kind of wait around for them to do the right thing. Like, after they dodge a few times, they do like the weird thing where they swap and like block and taunt you a little bit and laugh at you, and yeah, I guess you're still waiting for them to get to the right like pose or mode or whatever you want to call it where they're vulnerable to an attack, but at least you can attack super quickly and force them into it, whereas you're not in all those older games where it's kind of stand there with a shield and wait for a while until they're vulnerable. Like, you can make it a bit more active in Skyward Sword. Yeah, I do want to use your bomb bag and keep taking it. How's my pal? Worried about you? I don't know if friend's dead or alive. Yeah, a little bit worried. Yeah. Oh, I'm not letting you borrow my bag though. I'm giving it to you. Just don't blow yourself up. I believe in this game. Oh. Okay. If you run out of bombs, pick up a bomb flower and press B to put the bomb inside. So yeah, you have the ability to pick up a bomb flower and just add it to your stash of bombs, which makes so much sense, but the older Zelda games never allowed you to do that with bomb flowers. Bomb flowers are always a different thing than bombs. Oh, we just had 6 rupees. I didn't even realise. There. Get all that. And I just, yeah. I thought. Oop. Oop that fairy. Oop it. Happy affiliate anniversary. Thank you, Ross. I don't even know how many years it has been. I don't know if that's like my first affiliate anniversary or like, yeah, 2 or 3 maybe. I don't know. I do not know how long I've even been streaming anymore. But yeah, it just came up like, happy affiliate anniversary. I'm like, you gonna tell me which anniversary? No? Like, thank you very much for that. Appreciated. Still a ways off getting that partner. That's his butter pipe dream. It's one of those of like, I'm not really bothered about the like actual title of partner myself. The main like attractiveness for it to me is just like, oh well, I guess if you've got like Twitch partner in your bio, you're more likely to be able to just get brands to send you some free things. Hey, maybe that's about it. Just you're more likely to be able to get some free shit and get an affiliate code or something, or even just the free shit would be nice. Like, I'm not very good at, you know, the salesman pitch of like, someone sent me something for free and it's the greatest and you should go buy it. I mean, I'm great at it. Great at it. Send me stuff. But like, if someone wants to just be like, we'll send you something for free and just like mention it and put a video out there of like saying it's saying like your review on it or whatever. Fuck yeah, I'd do that. Do that for some like fucking some more kitty cat headphones. Crackly. Like I don't particularly you know, I do get the appeal of the partner getting extra split in the money when you get like subs and stuff, but for the amount of free shit, free streaming and all this jazz that Twitch lets you do, I'm honestly not that insulted by the fact it's a 50-50 split. Even though maybe, I guess, maybe some people would say that we're entitled to feel a bit ripped off by it, but they do provide a pretty decent service and unlimited of it for absolutely free to everyone, so not necessarily too mad about that, but it's, again, just, well, what would I rather be happy with? Getting money, extra money from, like, subs of people who are just, you know, fans who are trying to be nice and donate and help support me, or would I rather just get better shit out of, like, big corporations that have money to spare. And the answer, to me at least, is, well, I'd rather fucking get shit off big companies than, like, try and ask my fans for more money. Yeah, which is why I've now started leaning back into, like, you know, because I want to focus more on the fact that I'm doing, like, wiki weekends and this, and, you know, promoting myself as a brand and stuff like that. Like, that's why I've made sure that I'm doing, like, most of my stream archives just go, like, up to my YouTube channel again now. It's like, especially when it's like, you know, when I had people coming in towards the end of, like, Mass Effect 1 or at the start of Mass Effect 2 with just like, oh, have you got any VODs? It's like, yeah, I suppose for, like, especially narrative-based games like that, it would probably be a good, nice thing for me to do in general as well, of just give people the ability to not feel pressured to catch up within, like, that small window of time that Twitch keeps up. I think I only have mine up for a couple of weeks. Or maybe the VODs are up for 90 days, but I'm only allowed to, I think maybe that's it, that my VODs are up for maybe more than that, but I only have the ability to, like, access them for a couple of weeks. Oh, man. As in, like, you know, access them as in, like, download them or explore them as YouTube or anything like that. All these frogs. These lava frogs. I mean, that might be one of them. Just Link having to look into the future and be like, oh my god, this Link has to, like, deal with puzzles in 3D. There is the one time where I guess, like, I think it's the only one time where one Link interacts with another, and it's in Twilight Princess. Because the hero's shade, which is, like, the wolf that... the golden wolf that teaches you abilities that turns into, like, the olden, broken down warrior. That is meant to be, I believe, Ocarina of Time Link. So that's the one time where just... oh, you actually do interact with a previous Link as Link, and they don't particularly tell you much other than, hey, I know a suite of sick moves that you don't. I'm going to teach you them. I was just basically old ancient warrior Link being like, hey, look, you're fresh meat, I'm the hot shit. I'm going to teach you all these cool moves. Yeah, I think if I remember rightly, that was also one of those that was confirmed in one of the books, probably Hyrule Historia. So I think that may have begun as a fan theory, and then was confirmed in one of the, like, books, like the Encyclopedia or the History or something. I think it was confirmed. Yeah, I mean, either way, it's either that it was a cool fan theory or that it has been confirmed, but either way, I definitely agree with that headcanon. Why am I not getting heart ups? Ah! I've forgotten how it works. So when you pick up the heart as the beetle, it doesn't actually get added to Link's heart total until the beetle comes back to Link and like, hey bro, got you some hearts. Right, nice looking hearts here. Can't get the boulder rolling. Get through. I mean, obviously there's been games where you warp, like, go through time and go to different time periods, but there's never been just going through different links to do that. It's just, you know, obviously like Ocarina of Time being like young Link or old Link. Of course. So that it's telling you that on the dungeon map, it's like, oh hey, really weird that there's seemingly just a little crack in the wall here. Can't really see, but and when you get the dungeon map. Oh. Bit. Have some sausages while I hydrate. Muted as well. I think that's like an interesting thing of like, are there certain links that would be better equipped for the, you know, a different time period, or for example, just, you know, is there a link that would be better in Wind Waker? And I think the real answer is that Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom just Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild Link is essentially better equipped for every single game than every other Link is, I think is the real answer. But, you know, if you wanted to be a bit less boring than just Tears of the Kingdom Link is better in every way, it would be interesting to think, oh, well, you know, maybe Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword Link would be way better in Wind Waker because they're just an adult, right? Of like, they could just have a better job at actually stopping shit going down. Or, just any Link that has, like, better vehicle and a boat, but like I mean, technically Phantom Hourglass Link is the same as Wind Waker Link, but having the boat that you get in Phantom Hourglass in Wind Waker would be very handy. I mean, yeah, I think that's the thing, is the game mechanics of Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild are just so powerful that, well, why would you want any Link that doesn't have Ultra Hand as an ability? Because that can solve basically any problem. Again, what am I missing here? Is there another bombable wall? Right there, yes. But I guess the argument would be that, oh, well, you know, Tears of the Kingdom is ancient stuff because it's Zonai. It's like, whatever, okay. But yeah, again, I think it just makes for a less interesting discussion to be like, well, obviously Ultra Hand is the answer to everything. It's like, yes, of course it is. Having the ability to ascend through whatever you want build whatever you want and reverse time. Yeah, that sounds way more powerful than like, well, Link's got a bow now in this. Link had a double claw shot in this game. Yes. Could Twilight Princess Link build a 50-foot bridge and launch himself into space with it? I don't think so. If he could, I didn't play the same game. But yeah, for example, just, oh well, how many of like the temples would be made super easy if Link had access to like the beetle from this game, but not just the beetle, but like the beetle when it's full powered with speed boost and pincers and everything like that. Having to move yourself to play it. I'm only half grasping what that last one meant, Ross, of like, move yourself as a player to different eras, limited to that world era's game mechanics. So like, well, how would like, you know, Tears of the Kingdom's Link do if he's translated into Wind Waker's world and can only use Wind Waker's mechanics? Is that what you're saying? I mean, I always think that in terms of just sheer capability, Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild Link, yeah, they are great. They are Zelda's bodyguard, very cool, very courageous, very skilled, very trained. But I do always give props to Wind Waker Link, because pirates and a giant bird show up on his island where he's just a lazy young boy, no experience, no skills, no weapon training, nothing. And just, the dude immediately goes into, I'm going to save my sister and murder this bird, you son of a bitch. It's just, yeah, like, Green Lad versus Angry Wizard. It's going well. We're just, I think this is like, we're going into like the second half of the temple now. So we just cleared the first big, like, room, and then there's another couple of rooms up here to do with this big ramp and everything, but it's going well. We are just discussing whether, yeah, we're discussing what kind of Link would be super powerful in another Link's world, but yeah, I give props to little Wind Waker Link of he's just a child with zero ability or knowledge or anything, and his first reaction is just, I'm going to murder everything and everyone that stole my sister away. Like, he launches himself, admittedly, maybe the intelligence isn't fully there, but he lets his emotions get in the way a little bit, but I do respect just the idea that Wind Waker Link was so angry his sister got stolen. He ran off a bridge to his certain death, right? Just in sheer anger, because he's like, I'm going to kill all of you. It's like, you are a child without a weapon. What are you going to do, Link? The old guy in the village just taught you sword techniques for 5 minutes. That's all you've got. And if Link is the embodiment of courage, I think that alone is just, that's more courage than I think pretty much any other Link shows. Or at least unabashed, unearned courage. I mean, what would that mean? The world of Link 3 would be Link's the past. And the world of Link 5 would be Ocarina of Time. So Ocarina of Time, I think Ocarina of Time Link would probably fare very well in Link to the Past, especially if it was adult Link from Ocarina of Time. That's the thing. We don't know. We've never tested if Wind Waker Link has Spartan Rage or not. He's never been pushed that far. Who knows if he's got some Super Saiyan mode locked away inside of him. I mean, yeah, I guess so. There is a game 5 and there is a 3rd game in the series and a 5th game in the series with different links. So it's easy enough to be able to transpose one to another. And yeah, like the Link to the Past Link is again like he's a completely. I mean, technically they're both untrained children to begin with, so both of them would have an equal footing in that department. But then, if it was adult Link 5 going into that world after, like, post-time skip, he would absolutely annihilate compared to what Link to the Past Link did. That would really fuck with Ganon, though, wouldn't it? Of just, well, Link to the Past. He's fighting like a 10-year-old child. And it's like, ah, yes, the child is approaching. He will be back in Hyrule Castle soon to be disposed with. And then just this 16-year-old rocks up. It's like, wait, what's this? And he's got all, like, you know, the Megaton hammer and the golden gauntlets and all of this shit and the hover boots and the mirror shield and all that bollocks. And it's like, where did you come from? Where's the child that I'm meant to smack down? He is time warped into an adult. However, like, he does show a lot of competency by the end of the game. The Smash Link's a very complicated one. Because Super Smash Bros. The original was Ocarina of Time Adult Link. But then, over the years, the Smash Bros. Link has become different amalgamations of all adult Links put together. And then you've got Young Link, which is the Majora's Mask / Young Link from Ocarina of Time. You've got the Toon Link, which is the Wind Waker Phantom Hourglass one, which is based off just the Wind Waker stuff. There's no real hints to Phantom Hourglass stuff in Toon Link's moveset. And then, yeah, there's just 3 links right there, yeah. Yeah, original Smash Link would be the one we're talking about, and on top of that kind of gets a bit of extra additional stuff added through the games, but it's kind of like the Super Smash Bros. Like Melee Link is still Ocarina of Time based, but then in Brawl he becomes a bit more mature looking and looks more like Twilight Princess Link, but continues to have the exact same moveset that is still based off just like Ocarina of Time Link's moveset. So it gets a bit weird with that, and then the Smash 4 Wii U one looks a little bit closer to kind of a culmination of a couple of different links, right? And then Ultimate was when they changed it to Breath of the Wild looking, or maybe they changed it to Breath of the Wild looking in Wii U. I can't remember. Those two blur together a little bit. I do kind of like it. The big key, you've got to do like the 3D block puzzle. Now, that's a cool looking key. Imagine having to use that to get into your house every day, then. What a ball like that would be. No, it's never bad to forget anything that happened on Wii U. Apart from just, like, fucking Nintendo Land. If you forgot Nintendo Land happened on Wii U, I'd throw a bit of shade. But anything else that occurred on Wii U, it's just like, yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing. I don't begrudge anyone for forgetting any of those. Because there was Super Smash Bros. 4, and it was the fourth Smash Brothers, but it was one version was for Wii U, like FOR, not FOUR, not the number. It was Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and Super Smash Bros. For 3DS, and both of them were built off like the same engine and balancing and stuff. So they were both different versions of Super Smash Bros. 4. And then they used that kind of wordplay of like 4 Wii U and 4 3DS. But yeah, kind of nowadays, that version to me is the only version of Smash that is essentially redundant in place of Ultimate, because Smash, like 64 to Melee to Brawl to Wii U and 3DS were all like really big different leaps and felt very different. But Ultimate feels like it was just a better replacement for the Wii U version. Yeah, I am absolutely thrilled watching the Bungie development direct today. Like, just as I was saying earlier, we talked about a little bit, and I was already excited for the final shape, and I'm excited about just getting into some of this into the light content too. But man, they blew it out of the water with how cool the stuff they showed today. I was not expecting them to go so hard. It wasn't really like a big event or anything. It was just the Budgie Nungie, the bungle. It's like the 3 strikes and you're out. Yeah, I think it may have been like last week or something. Yeah, just the ability to like mix and match, cool as fuck. I love the image that you showed off of like the concept art of like half dark, half light armor, just glowing and like, just, you know, whatever the opposite of glowing is, just like absolute fucking matte black on the other side. But yeah, it wasn't necessarily a big Bungie event. It was just a 20-minute video of Bungie being like, hey, here's some cool shit that we're introducing into the final shape. And the big reveal was, hey, we're going to bring out a new subclass where you're going to be able to combine all of the subclasses together. And it's just like, oh, holy fuck. That is the coolest fucking thing we've heard of in a long time. And then some extra stuff of like, oh, you're gonna be able to like have class items that are exotic with randomly rolled exotics. Like the exotic perks of 2 random exotics thrown together, so you basically get like a double exotic, but it's randomized perks, and you've got to re-roll for like, you know, get more of them and re-roll for the best ones, but it can like, you know, potentially just break a build, just making things super happy. And yeah, low battery on my Zelda. We'll have to get rid of my Zelda Joy-Con. We'll put them on charge. Like, well, whatever could we do? I guess I'll activate my Zelda Joy-Con. It's like the power that I feel when we're playing Tune It Tuesdays of like, I've got 2 sets of Zelda Joy-Cons. I've got too much power here. And I've got to flaunt it, because otherwise I can't justify to my life spending like so much money on getting like Zelda limited edition shit just because it says Zelda on it. Oh. Yeah, that's the weird thing is like I don't know how they're gonna make all of these like class exclusive or like subclass exclusive abilities work with other things, and whether they will or not. We'll see how it. We'll see how all of the like prismatic guardian stuff and the double exotic perks and all that jazz. Like it's one of those of it sounds incredibly cool, and I hope it's half as cool as it sounds. Because if there's a lot of limitations on it, it could be a bit of a letdown. But from what they showed, it looked sick as fuck. Also, yeah, like, how was your fan mod of Sonic 06? That's like not surprising that somebody cares enough when it's the Sonic fan base to go fix that game, but you could be doing so much more with your time than fixing Sonic 06. But people love Sonic 06 for like the plot. And Silver the Hedgehog, who's like never really in much other content. I know he shows up from time to time, but it's like obviously Sonic fans get on board with like pretty much every Sonic character introduced, but there's like a weirdly avid fan base for Jet the Hawk, who was the Sonic Riders. Like I can't remember whether they were like an antagonist or like a deuteragonist with Sonic, but the story in the world's on there yet. Probably for the better. Like, as far as I'm aware, that's the bad parts of Sonic 06. And the good parts are still bad, but they are the really bad parts of Sonic 06. Yes, that was a character. No, that's what I was referring to by the plot is the kiss. I think that's why a lot of people like that game. I mean, that's cool. I'm glad that, like, it's one of those of, who am I to say that it's not fun to, like, have a fun version of Sonic 06? Like, I get, going and playing actual Sonic 06 is mostly just for the memes. But if someone actually made Sonic 06 fun, there was a lot of cool ideas and potential in that game. But just also, it was also very bad and hampered by a lot of shit. Oh, look. JoJo's back. Well, not JoJo, the stand, but... No, I haven't really gone and given it a proper relook. I just watched it through in real time and didn't really pause anything to examine it or anything. But yeah, there was a couple of bits where like I picked up on things every now and then, but I'm very much looking forward to just getting into it and realizing how crazy it is. The actual game definitely is torturous, like from everything I've ever seen anyone play of it. Yeah, the actual Sonic 06 is just a nightmare. I was already excited, but tempering my expectations, but it's really hard to temper my expectations after seeing that stuff. What game is this? This is Zelda Skyward Sword HD, which is currently we're at the end of the second temple of the game, and just Girahim is everyone's favorite just anime shitlord, and he is currently after Zelda like we are. We're both after her, and neither of us could catch up to her at the moment. I seem to be at a loss for your name. Not that it matters. To tell you the truth, I'm feeling a bit frustrated. Right now, I just need someone to vent to. Yeah, his underlings finally caught Zelda, and he rushed over, and it's like, oh. What did I find when I arrived? The agent of the goddess. Did once again. See what I'm trying to say is? Fucking hell, that goddess-serving dog escaped with the girl. So there was the other woman that we saw running around with, like, the cool ninja suit on and stuff. They had rescued Zelda before Girahim could arrive. And yeah, there we go. I must have the Spirit Maiden in order to resurrect my master. How many Zelda games are people, like, little shitheads running around going, I need to revive my master? The character flaw of mine. I don't deal well with complication. But to be fair, I say shitlord. Girahim is weirdly the coolest one. He's just such a fucking anime villain. And he's just got so much personality, even without, like, the voice acting and stuff. Just his movements and his noises and his weird, like, you know, weird tongue. I get a screenshot, that's mine. Oh god. Someone special I'd like you to... I need to vent all this unhealthy anger, and your agony is such a great stress reliever. A few moments with my friend before you're charred to a satisfying crisp. Tell you that will put a spring in my step. Got a quiver full of stand arrows. Are stand arrows a thing? I've really not watched much JoJo. Yeah, we were joking last time that like Girahim is totally just a stand from JoJo. Like, that's the energy that Girahim gives off. Again, don't really know. Not really consume much JoJo. I've watched like a couple of episodes of JoJo while chatting to friends in like a group setting. But I appreciate JoJo for what I've seen and want to, like, it's on the list at some point. But yeah, I've never sat down and like watched it properly or anything, so I couldn't give you like any actual reference to anything specific. Like, that's the thing, is half of the things I know about JoJo are memes, and the other half are just my friends showing me either clips of JoJo or JoJo-related death battles, or putting on a couple of episodes of JoJo, I'd say, like, in a group setting where we've been talking over it and stuff. But I've never got to properly, like, sit down and properly enjoy it for what it is. I've always been a big fan of death battle, but like, even if you're not, it's like, I always think it's worth, if you've got like, you know, a favorite character, just seeing if there's a death battle of them, because it's always interesting. I have no bombs left. It has, that's one thing I know for sure, it's got fantastic fucking character design. Oh god. Oh! That's one thing that I do find frustrating. Like, yeah, more frustrating than difficult with this fight is just... You generally don't want to be too close to this boss. But then the timer for, like, the inhale isn't very long. Like, by the time I got to react that... Because there's no consistent amount of that he runs either, like... Got to kind of be completely on the ball and ready to go second one. And then I keep forgetting that when he inhales is when I want to go attack. Oh, okay, we'll reverse. Oh! Oh my god! Fucking hell. Just keeps rolling. Yeah, I immediately went to, like, Kira, as in, like, Death Note. Yeah. I mean, that, like, literally just... Speaking of that theme, though, I know that's not the one we're talking about, but... Just that piano of, like, the Death Note, you know, the thinking music when they always monologue. That's just up there for me in terms of anime music. It's, like, so fucking iconic. Oh my god, really? Come on. My chin was just really itchy, and I was like, trying to just get the last couple of attacks in. I think it just makes anything mundane feel like really impactful. That's the power of that Death Note music. Just like, da-da-da. Like, man. Just the fact that it manages to make so many... Like, it managed to make a scene where a boy is writing and eating potato chips, like, feel cool as fuck. It's very fun for editing, yeah. Good old Halsey. And the fact that it is a meme, the fact that that is legitimately what happens in the show is like, this show is incredible. It is very hard to top. Very hard to top a scene of a boy writing some fucking names on a piece of paper and eating a potato chip. It's a legitimately fantastic scene. This happened to me last year. I ended up going, there was no, Death Note was not on any streaming service at the time. I literally went and just, like, one night really got the itch to, like, rewatch Death Note, and so Jenna was like, I think we just watched a clip of a scene. And we were like, where is it? Where is it on streaming services? And I just went and bought, like, the box set off eBay or something for, like, a tenner. And it was, like, the next week we just watched all of Death Note. That was, like, maybe a year or so ago, so it's quite fresh in my head. Only visible to you, share the love chat. It might be that thing of, like, there was, a prompt that Ross shared earlier of, like, oh, apparently it's my, like, affiliate anniversary. I don't even know which year of anniversary. It might be my first year or second year, I don't know. But it came up earlier in chat of like, oh yeah, share the, like, celebrate the affiliate anniversary. It's like, cool. You didn't even tell me what year, how many years I've been affiliate, or send me like an email. And it's in my chat apparently. I'm just like, yeah. So don't worry about it. Just get rid. It's fine. Yes. So I do think that rewatching it again, because I think it was like my third or fourth time watching Death Note, but it was the first time I'd watched it in a good like 5 or 6 years. The second half is a lot better than I remember, but I think most people just get really pissed off. I won't say because I'm prompting people to go watch it, but just for the, you know, lack of one of the main characters for half of a show. The fact that one of the pivotal characters isn't there makes the second half feel very weird and odd, and I think that's what people really sour on the show in the second half, but it is better than I remembered. I will say that. Like, the second half isn't terrible, because I was, in my head, I'd remembered it as like, well, the first half of it's like fantastic and incredible, and the second half shit. It's like, no, the second half is still very good, but it definitely drops off. I mean, I don't think Death Note would make any kind of logical sense in reverse order, just because obviously they, like, characters withhold their own information in their internal monologues until it makes sense to reveal it later. Definitely not for a first watch. It would almost be more interesting to, like, immediately watch it backwards. Like, watch it all the way through first, so you have all the information. And then immediately start going back from, like, I think it's, like, 28 episodes or whatever. Like, finish episode 28 and then go back to 27 and just start going the opposite way. But yeah, it's just one of those weird things of, there's so many times where, oh, well, you know, in like episode 26 they revealed there's the 17th Death Note. This isn't actually accurate information for anyone who hasn't seen it, but you know. Then in just the episode 25 it was, well, what's the mystery? Like, how come there's other people with other Death Notes? It's like, aha, we will never know my secret. And it's like, okay, but we've just found out your secret, like, an episode later, which we watched first. And yeah, obviously a show like that, it would fall apart, but it would be interesting to see how it fell apart. Because so many of it is reliant on characters withholding secrets until it makes for a good reveal, right? So a lot of, like, leaps in logic happen and stuff until you figure out, oh, that's how it's all explained. Yep, the stuff in the desert bunker and all that jazz, and then there's bits with, like, just keep introducing, like, new characters that no one cares about to be done with them, like, a couple of episodes later towards the end, and it's like, some of it feels like it's just treading water a little bit as well, and I think that's why, like, the second half does suffer. Prison made backward. I was about to say, because that would be him breaking into prison, but isn't that, like, one of the seasons? One of the seasons is him trying to break back into prison. I mean, I think technically Death Note is just a season, right? But like, maybe it's classed as 2, I'm not sure, because there is a very distinct split. But I always just thought of it as being like a one-shot, one-season thing. Yes, yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, he broke into prison to break someone out. Yeah, like that's the thing, I've not watched Prison Break apart from season 1, but I've heard other people who are like real fans of Prison Break, like, you know, like Carl and Brad, have had discussions where I've been in the room and they've been discussing it, and it just sounds like it goes off the fucking rails. Yeah, the classic. Like, even an anime that's one season can't help but like be like, yeah, but it's time jump time, right? It's like, what? Why does every anime need the time jump? It's like, it's one season. From the edge of time I guide you, the one destined to carry out the goddess's mission. Spirit maiden who descended from the clouds has passed through the earth's spring, makes her way to a fated place. Parched desert of Lanayru, that is where the chosen will pass through the gate of time into a distant. Yeah, I think a lot of... I mean, to be fair, a lot of animes are only a couple of years time skip, but yeah. It is definitely just... We needed to jump this along 6 months or something, or a year or something in Death Note. It's not. Yeah, with Dragon Ball Z, it is very much... I mean, maybe the Boo saga probably goes off a little bit, but it is mostly like, here's a plot or two at a time. Of like, the Frieza saga is basically like, here's what's happening with, you know, Vegeta, Krillin, and Gohan. And every now and then we'll just throw in a scene where like Goku trains or Bulma's getting scared by monsters again or something. Whereas, yeah, Super is a lot more. Loads of things are going on. Yeah, technically the Android saga is separate than Cell, but it's like the Android and Cell saga to me. Like, yeah, the way it goes is like, there's the Saiyan saga for Dragon Ball Z, where Z starts, is when Raditz arrives. Then the Namek / Frieza arc. Then it's the Android Cell saga stuff, and then it's the Majin Buu stuff. Yeah, I can't remember what it was about Fairy Tail where I watched like 2 episodes and just went, eh. Yeah. Just, I mean, that's the thing. I did actually see an advert for, I think it was Crunchyroll. Must have been Crunchyroll. It's the only thing left. Of like, oh, in the UK, we've got all of Dragon Ball now. And sub and dub and everything. Go watch it. And I will be interested to see if they've got Kai on there. It's just... I can't remember whether they did Majin Buu Kai in the end or not. Presume they did get round to it at some point. Surely. They must have done. I would hope so, but... Yeah, that is just... Oh, hey. we've got Z, but they're not all screaming and sitting around for episodes at a time because we don't have to try and keep up weekly. Kirby or Majin Buu? I think if Goku and Vegeta can find a way to break out of Majin Buu's like absorption, Kirby could easily. Whereas I don't think that Majin Buu has the power to break out the stomach dimension. Although maybe that's a lie, because Super Buu did. Super Buu screams his way out of the dimension of like the time chamber, right? That they just trap him in and go, fuck it, we'll blow up the door so no one can escape. The Room of Spirit and Time, yeah. Like, they just trap him in and go, well, if we can't beat you, get the hyperbolic time chamber or the Room of Spirit and Time. They got like translated in one of the dubs to the hyperbolic time chamber, right? But originally it was meant to be the Room of Spirit and Time. But yeah, just is a very weird thing of just like, we trapped you in here, at least no one can get out and you can't kill everyone now. And Super Buu just shouts and screams until he rips a hole in the fabric of reality and walks out. I don't know too much about actual Kirby lore, so I don't know if that's correct or not. But I do know that Kirby has the stomach dimension where he just like absorbs enemies and keeps them there in storage forever to utilize their power whenever he wants. And Kirby is basically proven to be practically unkillable. But then, at the same time, Majin Buu is practically unkillable. Majin Buu can absorb Kirby. And Kirby would probably have a way to get out. But seemingly Majin Buu would also have a way to get out of Kirby's stomach dimension. I wonder if that must have been like Pink Blob versus Pink Blob. Kirby Buu Death Battle? I can't remember. Like, I think Kirby would win just on the basis that Kirby has a way more nebulous power set. Basically, Kirby is just indestructible, all-powerful, and has never really shown a limitation or shown that he can really be defeated. Whereas Buu's been shown to be killable, right? So he doesn't destroy enemies. He does turn them into a power, but he doesn't eat them and destroy them. He eats them and sends them to his stomach dimension for recall of power. That's technically the lore of how it works. Kirby Majin Buu is 9 years old. One of the classic ones there. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, yeah. Just one of those of, well, Buu has proven to be destructible. I don't think Kirby ever has. So I think that's probably the biggest distinction between the two. Oh. 1,200 rupees. Oh. 800. Fuck. Oh. Again, I think both have probably proven the ability. Let's sleep until night, and I can't remember quite what happens here. Isn't it? Death Battle only recently did their 10th year anniversary, though. surely. I swear it was not long ago that they did 10 years of Death Battle. Because wasn't that why they did the redo of... No, I'm wrong. I thought the reason why they did the redo of Goku and Superman again was for like 10 years. Man, it's been going on since 2010. So it's 14 years now. So yeah, 9 years ago was like quite a long time ago for their channel, but I thought it was like that would have been one of the first couple of years. Oldest video is 13 years old. No, yeah. Like, that's the thing is nearly every YouTube channel that you think of as ancient. Like, oh, it's not actually as old as I thought it was. Like, most of them anyway. Obviously, there's a couple, like, Amry Video Game Nerd that's been around for, like, basically since, like, the start of modern YouTube, really. But, like, for example, like, Dragon Ball Z Abridged, when was, like, the start of that? 2008. But then I think the end of, like, the Cell Saga was actually only, like, 5 years ago or something. And I'm like, no, that can't be right. Like, Dragon Ball Z Abridged was, like, years and years and years ago. And it's like, no, what? It wasn't by the end of it. Yeah, so I think there is a couple of things that they are keeping from, like, the Rooster Teeth brand that they're not associating with, like, the big profitable bits. Like, there is, I think Death Battle is one of the ones that's being kept around. And then, I couldn't be 100% sure on any of this, by the way. And then I think there's also another, like, couple of things that have managed to, like, either stick around or keep the rights to it or something like that. Also, Major Rev, thank you. I was saying earlier, I don't know what affiliate anniversary I am on right now, but appreciate it. I mean, I think that's what a lot of YouTubers and online personalities and online brands, like, maybe not necessarily like loyalty dying by 1,000 cuts, but a lot of the time just like people just slowly, like, little bits and pieces wear them down, or just people just get tired of like the same content. But then you're encouraged to make the same content because the moment you deviate, you nearly always just get absolutely blasted for it. And your analytics take an absolute dive as well. Yeah, the whole, like, red versus blue thing. I used to watch them all the time, and, like, I just stopped watching at some point. But the fact that it's been going on this long, and they've finally done, like, here's the final red versus blue. Oh my god, that's, like, even though I haven't watched for years, that still hits a bit like a truck. Yeah, I think even I was, like, middle of high school. And when I say, you know, high school for us in England is from the age of, like, 11, but so I definitely was just like, you know, it must have been, what, 17 years ago when Halo 3 was coming out. And I started watching Red vs. Blue around the time, like, Halo 3 came out. The fact that they've been consistent, like, for so long and such a part of the community. They started doing it back in either... It was, like, Halo 2, was it? Good old Newgrounds. Thank you, Shadow. I picked up my drink like, oh, I can do this like one last sentence, and it's like, no, drink something, you fool. Yeah, I did. That's the thing is, I don't even know like exactly when it started. I was gonna say, I think it may have been pre-YouTube when they originally started. Like, they are... Because YouTube was like 05, right? Or something like that, 05, 06. Which is crazy, because it feels like it's been around, like, basically my entire fucking life. But yeah, I think they've been doing it since Halo 2. Which, Halo 2 would be, I think, 4? It's insane. And the fact that... Because obviously it must have been super easy to film them in, like... Well, not super easy, but it must have been very doable to go into theatre mode on Halo 3 and film it all that way, but just the effort that it must have took to do it on, like, Halo 2. And they must have had, like, a player character being the cameraman, I guess? It's wild to think about. And just, you know, even thinking of a lot of... I mean, the world's gone all the way around where a lot of TikTok streams and stuff are people doing this. But I was going to say back in the day when a lot of streaming and Let's Plays and stuff would be people just having a video camera pointed at a TV screen. And then you'd get all like the CRT lines, all the filters and everything. And just like all the static and stuff, just the quality was terrible, but guess what? That's like the only way people had to do it. Like, capture cards were not really an accessible thing or anything. It could have been Halo Combat Evolved that they started. I'm not familiar, but I remember it being at least Halo 2 as early as. So it might have been even Halo 1, yeah. Yeah, like, just... But that's the thing is, it's gone all the way around now where I've seen a lot of people who stream on Twitch where they'll have secondary TikTok streams where they're either just filming themselves, filming the gameplay, or just filming, like, a run of their Twitch stream. But just it's their camera on their phone, just pointed at one of the PC monitors or something. Yeah, don't remind me either. I'm the one who brought it up, but yes. Ugh. Nah, to be fair though, as much as it's like, it's stupid, I fully respect the hustle of... And obviously they all know what they're doing. It's like... I respect that way more than being like, oh hey, I'm farting into an ASMR mic for bits and donations. Like, I think the idea of, like, wearing, like, green leggings to put gameplay on your ass is way more inventive than just... I'm gonna fart into a mic for money. Oh dear. Yeah, I very much respect the play of just the power play. I'm gonna make sure that I just put gameplay on, like, onto my ass with green screen. I don't even remember what we were talking about really, but like, yeah, just the yeah, you have got to be creative to come up with those like new Twitch stream metas and shit like that. Obviously the biggest real beginnings of that was like, oh, the hot tub streams, and it's like, well, it's not hard to notice that like people are going to want to see you in a hot tub and it doesn't technically break like the terms of service at time. Like, oh, surprise that people want to see you half naked. Maybe there's a reason that, you know, there's been a career path for that online since the internet existed. Actually, no, yeah, maybe it is all. Maybe it is a right price. Like, yeah. So we get rid of one of these seed satchels, replace it with the bomb satchel. But yeah, like the hot tub streams, I don't think it requires much like creativity. It requires balls, and it requires a smart, savvy person to be the first one to do it and to fill in that niche. Like, fair play to, you know, Amaranth for being the first one on top of a lot of those different kinds of ones, or being the first popular person to be on them at least. And earning fucking millions a month. It's like, I don't like the fact that that's what a lot of the platform it revolves around, is like the idea of let's just find the new meta to be half naked, but it's like, that is what it is, and people are here for that, and I don't begrudge anyone for taking full advantage of it and getting a shit ton of money for it. Like, that's the thing is, I think I could, like... I mean, you know, I don't know, I can't speak for many, but I did see a clip of, like, you know, one of those, like, financial guys on TikTok of being, like, talking to Amaranth, that is like, oh yeah, this month you got paid like $2 million, and the next month it's like, oh, you got a check for like $680,000 off your agency. That's not paying your bills. Like, that is getting your fucking retirement money in now. Like, and fair play, just do it. The thing is, like, I'm fairly tame on the internet. I don't have a massive following compared to these people. You know, obviously Fat Fiend was quite big when I was, like, on a lot of those videos and form of a voice off camera. But, you know, still get comments and stuff, and still see the channel's comments and all that jazz. And I've never been that level, though, obviously. But, yeah, it's... Even the small following I have, like, we get people just hate us. And we get shitty comments. And we get people begrudge us for what we do and what we say. And we don't earn $2 million a month for it. Like, if you can do that shit and make that amount of money, yeah, you'll have a portion of your fans not like you, and a bunch of people on the internet say that you're like a dickhead or whatever. But even when you're not earning $2 million a month, when you're a person online, you still get that anyway, just to a lesser extent. I tell you what, I'd let people call me an asshole online for $2 million a month. Like, that's the thing, yeah, you're never going to escape the trolls, and it's just part of the game. It's part of what putting yourself online is always going to be. Like, you see fucking videos of, like, here's a cute kid, and you'll see comments being like, man, this kid's an entitled asshole. It's like, it was meant to be a fun clip of my kid, what you want about, or something. Well, thank you, yeah. We always try to be as inclusive as we can, and yeah, just fuck anyone that doesn't think that way at all. But it's always that case of, like, even if you're not particularly outspoken, even if you try to play your cards as straight and narrow as you can, you're going to get people that just don't like you, or people that just want to troll you, people that just want to be dickheads for the sake of being dickheads, and it's like, if you can do that and make millions of dollars a month, get the millions of dollars a month. Fuck the haters. Like, as long as you're not breaking any laws, and as long as you're not, like, completely abusing people and stuff, and, like, you know, obviously, there's weird, you know, parasocial relationship stuff online, and a lot of people do either wittingly or unwittingly abuse that for more, like, you know, donations and or support from fans. Which is not the best, but it's up to each person to see where they draw the line and where their opinions on all that jazz falls. Like, as long as you're not explicitly harming others and breaking laws and shit, and just like go get your bag. It's like, what is the Super Arcade? Well, thank you. Helping towards getting that Mass Effect 3 going as well. But you subscribed for Arcade. Technically, it should be updated, because we've not changed that since I adopted Oryx, but poor Oryx currently just doesn't get much love around here, because it's been a while since they updated all my jars. But yeah, thank you very much. They are both little miniature sausage dogs. The gifts that you can currently see of Oryx are when we first adopted him, and he was rather overweight. He was currently, like, bear in mind right now, he's about 5.5 kilos. He was nearly 10 by the time we rescued him. But now he's a super healthy weight and he's super skinny, but I have some gifts, like, on my phone that I haven't then put on, like, you know, my PC and put onto my Stream Deck and onto my thing. I'm just been a bit lazy with it. So he currently only has very, very chunky gifts of him. It's true. They are all on Giphy. Like, you can literally... You can search for all the gifts I use on stream through, like, most ways. Like, anything that supports, like, Giphy or Tenor. If you just search, like, Legend of Kanto, you can use them all yourself in, like, whatever means you want. You know, respectfully. Any means you want, anyway. But, even if you just search for, like, Dachshund, like, gifts on there, a lot of the Cade ones are very popular already and will be some of the top results. For example, this GIF here, if you just search for, like, Sausage Dog or Dachshund, like, that literally comes up as one of the first results on any GIF ever. Because quite a few of them are just really popular at this point. Yeah, we should have done. And we do have quite a lot of pictures and GIFs and stuff, and, like, videos over the months. And also, you know, they have a dog trainer who also takes, like, pictures and videos of them as well. So we do have quite a long list of ways to show his weight loss, but I just haven't updated many of my shit since we adopted him. I got, like, a few panic gifts in to make sure he wasn't forgotten. No, the entire point is that I'm never going to reveal what the Chosen One is until one person redeems it, and they get that reward for as long as I am a streamer. But yes, some people are already hundreds of thousands of points into the save. But the idea is, like, again, I will always clarify that it is something that is like a reward with some monetary value to it, but it's nothing massive, and it's basically mostly there to be a joke. I always clarify that whenever people bring it up. Like, its intention is to just be a silly joke that a couple of people may save for, and to give people a reason to, like, come and watch and maintain a consistent viewership. That's kind of, you know, that's the psychology of rewards like that, I guess. But, like, it does have some monetary value, but I don't want people to think it's like, you're gonna come live in my house, or I'm gonna give you $1 million or something. Like, it's meant to be a silly joke that does have a bit of value to it. So I never want people to think, like, you're gonna win some fucking lottery reward from me or anything. As far as I can tell, I can't read fully from here because I need better glasses, and also it's just a bit far to read small text from anyway. I don't think, have my copy of Sonic and the Secret Rings anymore on Wii, but it would be funny. It would be very funny if, like, oh, this is the copy of a Wii game that I played literally, like, 15 years ago and gave up on immediately. I paid fucking full price for that game because of the reviews, and it was shocking. I was trying to see if I still had it, but quite a lot of GameCube and Wii games when I was very poor held a lot of value. So, a lot of my GameCube collection got diminished by, oh, hey, you need to eat and you don't have a job. And I was like, right, okay, just every week I'd be like, I guess I still can't find a job, but my mates are asking me on a night out, I'll go sell another GameCube game at, like, Game or whatever, and pay for my night out that way. Very happy years ago getting a copy. I mean, for 1 million points, that would be a bit harsh. Of like, here's a shit Sonic game that no one likes, but it would be very funny, right? Like, I think it would almost be offset, like, how shit the reward is by how funnily shit the reward is. But I think it wouldn't be as funny if it wasn't, like, if I'd just picked it up, you know, off eBay now. It would be way funnier as, like, a proper big reward to be like, hey, here's the copy of Sonic and the Secret Rings that I paid full fucking price for when I was a fool. And, like, listened to all these 8 out of 10 reviews from people saying it was really good. Like, something like that. Like, I don't know how many times I've mentioned it, but, like, the copy of Sims busting out that I have that I found for cheap in France. So it's, like, Le Sims Permis de Sortir, rather than, like, The Sims busting out. And it plays, like, in English, because most European games have just English options for, like, English, French, German, Spanish, Italian, as, like, default. But yeah, it's just funny because I've just got the French version. Like, The Sims busting out, I think, was a better console Sims than people give it credit for. Because it was essentially a slimmed-down console version of The Sims 2, but it also had, like, maybe not the best way to play The Sims, but it was an intriguing way of, oh no, we're gonna give you like a plot line to play through where you move through the different families and like fulfill what their wants and needs are as well. Way better than the herbs. Because I think people have got to remember how bad the Sims console versions were at the time when Busting Out came out. Like, it did a good job. I've never played the herbs, I've just heard the horror stories. They call it the Erms. But it was quite funny the other day when, like, I'd been mentioning to like, oh, you know, like, it's been pretty difficult to get in stock right now, but, like, I don't know if, you know, since we both use the Switch almost entirely in handheld, of like, oh, do you think it's worth, like, looking into getting a PlayStation Portal? And it's always kind of been, maybe, yeah, like, I'd think about it, you know, not really like 100% sold on the idea, but not against it either. And then we went around to our friend's place the other day, and they were like, oh, do you want to try it since you're thinking about getting one? And then the moment it got mentioned of like, yeah, you could play Sims 4 on a handheld then, it was like, oh, and you could just see like the, oh, handheld Sims though. Like, that was the word that needed to be said to suddenly sell the PlayStation Portal. Bringing back the PSP as its not owned device. So this right here, it's not utilized in the craziest way right now. It's a cool idea right now, but later on, these time crystal things become also portable, so you can move around this time zone of when things get refreshed. But you go from, oh, well, everything's this abandoned mine, decrepit and old, and then you hit the time crystal, and everything within the radius of the time crystal goes back in time. So all of a sudden, all these dead robots that were like husks on the ground, they become these little cute robots here. And it's like, oh, we were collecting time shift stones and transporting them through Lanayru. Stay away from blue stones, they're too dangerous. But yeah, you just hit a time shift zone, and the zone in this area all of a sudden shifts back in time to when all of this technology was still working. Oh man. Like, when you're at a point where you're a fucking landlord, do you really need to go around stealing people's fucking PSPs? Jesus Christ, you own properties. Do you really need to like go stealing people's PSPs? Fucking hell. I mean, like, just another notch on the list of evidence that landlords are just scumbags. So they didn't actually bring back the PSP, but they brought in a, like, the handheld device that's like a DualSense with the screen in the middle of it, where you can use remote play on it. That's called a PlayStation Portable. No, PlayStation Portal. Sorry, not portable. It's called a Portal. But the joke is, like, oh, they've resurrected the PSP. So obviously, instead of PlayStation Portable, PlayStation Portal, it's like, well, it's now the new PSP. Yes, I guess that's not incorrect. That you can say that they're trolling, but at the same time they're not wrong. I will say, holding it in person, seeing it in person, looks and feels way better than I would have imagined. That screen that's just like plonked in the middle of the controller, it actually is got like a much nicer backing to it and feels a lot sturdier than I would have thought. Oh. Yeah, the Whisper. Like, is it Whisper and 0 Hour are both of them back already? Or is it a case of, like, next week we'll get the one for Outbreak Perfected? Just Whisper for now, yeah. The classic Destiny thing of, hey, you're really excited for a bunch of this content. Make sure you wait a little while for half of it. Which I get. I do get, as a person who would take their time with all of it, like myself. I kind of get a bit annoyed by it, because it's like, but oh, what if I prefer the 0 Hour, and I just wanted to go into 0 Hour straight away? It's a bit annoying that this week I can't do that. However, I completely understand, because that's offset by all the people that bitch and moan that day one, there's nothing left for me to do this season. It's not something you can play by itself, but it's also something that is not tethered like the Wii U, because it's just a remote play console. So it is just, you leave your PlayStation 5 on, you have to have a PlayStation 5. It's a £200 or £300 machine that also requires you to have a PS5 that's also like 500 quid to 550 or something. Which is, you know, not the best thing ever. Same with like the PSVR 2 being a £600 VR headset that also requires you to have like a £500 console. It is cheaper than a Steam Deck for sure. But it is a remote play, like, streaming device, yes. It doesn't really have much computational power on its own. It is just a device that is purpose-built for remote play. But yeah, the Steam Deck is on the lower end of the Steam Deck versions, depending on which version you pick. It's maybe like £100 more to go get a Steam Deck that natively runs your games, has a better library. It's one of those of basically, again, the use case of, well, I have a PS5, and I know I nearly always play my Switch handheld, and will probably get a lot more use out of my PS5 if I could do that. In that use case, for playing PS5 exclusives, it seems like a cool device. Yes, exactly that. It is exactly that. It adds up to being like 700 to 800 quid's worth of machine that can't even run a game by itself. Value proposition, really not great. However, telling somebody who already has a PS5, do you want to pay like a couple of, like, do you want to buy an expensive accessory for the console that lets you play it, like, where, you know, handheld mode in your house? Like, for a lot of people, no. But for a lot of people, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. And that's why, for me, it's been one of those devices of, like, thinking about it and talking it through, and we haven't got one yet. And, you know, trying our friends one has, like, convinced us a little bit more, but we're still not 100%. It's kind of like, you know, it's one of those of, it's a nice, expensive thing to have. But, yeah, in terms of value proposition, it's not great. Like, again, you could just save up a bit more and get a Stream Deck. But admittedly, if you want a higher-end Stream Deck, Steam Deck, sorry. The Stream Decks and the Steam Decks. And if you wanted, like, the highest-end Steam Deck, you are paying 3 times the price. They're, like, 500-600 quid. But if you want the lower end, you're paying like less than double. Yeah, Steam Deck seems like a way cooler option than PlayStation Portal. But I am nicely surprised by how good the PlayStation Portal felt when I was using it. And just for anyone that's watching that doesn't like just believe that I'm trying to give an honest and decent review of something I don't own yet and just mentioning it, just a caveat that, like, you know, my partner does work for PlayStation. She does, but like, I've never sat here and not give my honest opinion on a PlayStation thing because of that. But just, you know, in case anyone is like, oh, he's just saying that it's like a good thing. I don't give a shit. I would hope that people watching and people who have, like, hopefully, you know, learned my personality enough would know that I wouldn't really be arsed enough to try and, like... I don't get any benefit for, like, shilling Sony products, like... No way on hell would I have purchased... The only thing I think I purchased console-wise during either college or university was splitting a Wii U with my parents by saying, like, oh, well, if my dad puts, like, 100 quid in, my mum puts 100 quid in, and I'll put the rest in for a Christmas present or something, or a birthday present, or a joint birthday Christmas present. I had to come up with, like, shenanigans deals to get them convinced to help me to buy a Wii U for, like, birthday, Christmas kind of times. And put a lot of my money towards it. That was the closest I ever got to purchasing any console myself during college or uni times. I was far too skinned. So yeah, the answer would be no fucking way. I didn't even buy, like, consoles I wanted at the time, let alone expensive, like, unneeded accessories to consoles at the time. Yeah, this is a very niche thing of just, if you really like PlayStation exclusives and have decent internet, and would like to, more than likely the use case for most people with a PlayStation Portal is not even to take it out of the house, it's to use it in your house to play your PS5 remotely and, like, on a handheld, rather than having to, you know, so that way I could play Horizon while watching TV. I think that's what most people want a Portal for, is like being able to play, like, Horizon or Destiny or something like that, or God of War, like, on a handheld at home while they're in bed or watching TV or something. I honestly think that's what most people are buying it for. Because, great, you can take it out the house, but the remote play is surely not going to work well on, like, hotel Wi-Fi, right? Yes. That thing is, like, that's what we use the Switches for in our house a lot. Is like, we prefer to play the Switches, like, we both have a Switch, handheld nearly all of the time. Apart from when it's a big game like Tears of the Kingdom. I will put that on the TV a lot, especially when I'm, you know, I streamed a lot of the big moments of Tears of the Kingdom. So that's probably a bad example, but and then did a lot of the busy work either on my TV or on handheld, depending on my mood. But yeah, just like, that's essentially, yeah, exactly. It would be used for what I already have a Switch for anyway. So again, that's why we haven't jumped at the chance. But there are PlayStation exclusives. Like, it would have been really fun, for example, to, like, have had a portable way to just play Spider-Man 2 when I'm just cleaning up all the side missions and doing all that stuff and not playing the story mode. It depends on the game. Some bigger games on the Switch I still play handheld for. I can't remember how to get past this bit. Okay. Yeah, I mean, chat be cool, you know? The classic of, like... I was refraining from giving Death Note spoilers earlier. Like, without warning, I don't like to really give spoilers on most things. But, you know, I understand why some people are like, I don't give a shit, but... Like, you know, the classic of, like, we've always said on content, like... 6 months, and... we'll give maybe a quick spoiler warning, but you know, especially when it's like TV and films, like there's not that much of a barrier to it. But when it's exclusive to like a brand new PS5, where a lot of people have not got the money to throw it on like 500 quid to go play one exclusive game, it's like, yeah, I completely get why people might have a bit of a longer barrier to entry for that kind of shit. But no, thing like the thing I maybe am most excited about the idea of getting, tech-wise, would be not that I like the company, but just like a meta quest. Basically, is there a way for me to be able to play Beat Saber without wires? And the answer is a meta quest, right? And Jesus Christ, I fucking love Beat Saber. It is one of my favorite games ever. And the fact that the library on PlayStation is very limited to what you may make work on the PC version of the game, and then yeah, like, just the fact that it's wireless. The controllers are probably a bit better than the PlayStation Move controllers are as well. But yeah, just, like, having to not set up a load of wires and the PSVR and stuff and the PlayStation camera and having all that jazz connected and, like, having to have a PS5 to play Beat Saber and, like, it works obviously on a PS4, but I have a PS5, so I'll hook it up to PS5, but, like, the idea of just being able to pick up something and play Beat Saber, that's why I'm excited to get something that's a, you know, Meta Quest or like something similar, but I also don't want to spend £500 to play fucking Beat Saber. As fantastic as it is, and it's one of my favourite games, that's what I was missing. I didn't think I would make that bowling ball roll all the way over there. Here we go. Nice, yeah. Nice way to reward yourself, you game. And then, you know, what you could do is like, well, if I get in, Spider-Man on a PS5 will be a reward for getting into, like, college course. And then if it doesn't work out, you can say that it was a way to make you feel better about not getting into college course. Not that I doubt you, don't worry. But, like, the classic, the, oh, I've got to buy this now to make myself feel better. It's like, but that wasn't when you're meant to be your reward. It's like... can I put my Spider-Man 1 Miles Morales disc onto PSVR future? Yes. If you buy a disc-based PS5, your PS4 discs will work. Of course, yeah. the sensible option. Use your bursary for PS5. And I joke because I do the exact same thing. So yeah, feel free to like try and sell off a PS4 to put towards it. I mean, we didn't technically get much of a choice with our PlayStation 5, but we were lucky to get a PS5 with a disc. It was preferable. I should go back into the other room because there is an option chest that we just went past. I mean, fair. That's a nice bursary for 3 months, yeah. But obviously, I guess, like, you know, if that 2K's got to pay for, like, rent and or public transport to be at that college, I guess that's not quite so nice a bursary. So it go, you know, swings and roundabouts, really. Depends on your situation. The digital ones are fine as well. Like, they'll be backwards compatible for, like, your PS4 digital games. But, yeah, it's... For me, personally, as someone who even doesn't use the discs that much, I still want the option. I still want that available to me. And one example where it paid off a lot was with Final Fantasy VII Remake into Grade and Intermission. It was like, oh, well, it's on PlayStation Plus, but if you get it for free on PlayStation Plus, you can't upgrade to Final Fantasy VII Remake into Grade on PS5. And it was a really weird situation. Like, if you have Final Fantasy VII Remake disc, you can upgrade to the PS5 version of 7 Remake for, like, I think it was like a tenner, 10 quid, maybe 50, maybe 5, 10, 15 quid, I can't remember, but it was a small amount. And you can get the PlayStation Plus version of the PS4 version for free, or included within your price of PlayStation Plus, yes. If you want to be pedantic. But then, if you wanted to get the PS5 version of Remake by upgrading, you couldn't do it with the free version from PlayStation Plus. It specifically wouldn't allow that to happen. And I don't know how that works out or whatever, but that was how it was. So what I did instead was I bought the Final Fantasy VII Remake disc for like, I think it was like, for like 8 or 9 quid off eBay. For cheap on eBay. And then, yeah, I put that disc in once and then upgraded the PS5 version for also cheap. And it's like, instead of paying the 60 quid it was to buy PS5 version of 7 Remake and Intermission, I was able to pay like the 10, 15 quid or whatever to upgrade it from my disc version instead. It's like, I don't really use the disc tray that much. But there are weird things like that where just some companies are petty assholes and want to grab the most out of you, and it just so happened to save me like 40, 50 quid by just having a disc tray. And I was like really annoyed by the way that they dealt with that I was petty enough to make all that effort to go out there and do it that way. There wasn't obviously that much effort. It was like, you know, that extra couple of steps of like not getting it for free on PlayStation Plus and tracking it down secondhand instead. But just, yeah, like absolutely fuck you for being like, hey, the game's included in PlayStation Plus. Oh, but you can't use that to upgrade to the PS5 version. Like, but every single person that would be getting it for free, that's potentially millions of new people playing your game. that you could get an extra 15-20 quid out of all of them to upgrade to the PS5 version. 10, 15, whatever it was. I think I paid a bit more because I paid for, like, I might have got, like, the 15 or version to, like, upgrade with the Yuffie DLC or something, but then there was a cheaper option to just get, like, Final Fantasy VII Remake, but it runs on PS5. And that was a bit cheaper. And so that's why I'm getting so confused with the numbers, I think. But yeah, just the fact that I saved, like, over half the amount of money that I would have spent to be petty because Square Enix wanted to be petty. Like, stuff like that for me is why I still just feel very scared to fully commit to a digital console, and stories of, like, it hasn't really happened much with games yet, but it's happened a lot with TV and movies where just fuck you, all of your digital licenses, we're removing them now. I mean, the reason with the PS5 only playing games from, like, the expansion bay or the SSD, like, internal SSD, is just reading speeds. Like, it's really hard to have a external SSD where the read speeds are fast enough to be comparable to having something docked into your essentially PC at this point. Same with the Xbox Series S and X, is they have that special, like, proprietary like memory cards which upgrade your memory by, like, 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes that are super expensive. You can play Series X games off them. You play Series games off console, obviously. Can't do it off, like, an external USB plug-in. You can play, like, Xbox One version games off them, but a lot of those games, they require the right read speeds of SSDs that are more hardwired into your console to be able to load the games in time. So it is just that having something plugged in via a USB or a USB-C, it doesn't give fast enough read-write times to make up for the fact that you're playing it off something. Yeah, the games nowadays, the SSD nowadays that are in consoles are just very, very fast, and mean that we can do almost no loading screens, but it does mean the compromise of not being able to play those games off a hard drive externally. No. It is not too much to ask, but apparently it is too much to ask on it. Like, for some reason, MGS4 is just that game. It's, and presumably, fingers crossed, they have done something to figure it out, because they've brought out, like, the what's it called, like, there's so many Metal Gear collections now, but there's, like, the newest one that was released on Switch, whereas, like, the Metal Gear Solid Master Legendary Edition Super Comic Turbo Bullshit Edition #1, I think it was just, like, the Master Collection Volume 1 or something, right? But there's been, like, 5 different Metal Gear collections at this point. It's hard to remember which one's which. But whichever the one that was on Switch with, like, and also Xbox and PlayStation, yeah, it's like the whatever edition, but they had Metal Gear Solid, like, 1, 2, and 3 working on that, and some of, like, the, like, Game Boy, like, Metal Gear games and stuff as extras. But that was Volume 1. And I think it would be completely bullshit to release a Volume 2 and then just, what, ignore Metal Gear Solid 4? You would imagine that they can't release a second part to this master collection of Metal Gear Solid and just ignore 4. It's like no one's figured out how to get that game to run on anything but a PS3 because the PS3 was so weird to program for, but why would you tease people with a potential Volume 2 if you're not going to put MGS4 on another console? And I don't think that version could, like, I don't think you could get MGS bitch. Because they've failed to get it running on, like, a PS4. Like, surely at least, like, exclusive to, like, PS5. Or PS5, Series X, PC. So, I don't know, but I'm baffled at the idea of, like, them releasing a Volume 2 that doesn't have Metal Gear Solid 4 on it. And I understand that that game's probably programmed with fucking spaghetti because it was for the PS3 specifically. They might just have to remake it completely. But, like, there's... I don't know what that... Like, I don't know how they could market Volume 2 and not put 4 in it and come out with a straight face and be like, yeah, man, it's got, like, Acid 1 and 2 and Peace Walker and 5 on it. Like, how... I don't know how they could come out and just ignore 4. Like... Ugh. Man, it would be wild, but it wouldn't... I wouldn't put it past Konami, because they are one of the weirdest, most stupid-ass companies out there gaming-wise. So yeah, it wouldn't shock me, but I would be, like, really just surprised to hear their justification. Like, oh, we couldn't do it. We couldn't figure it out. So let's go buy the other Metal Gear games for them. Like, but if it's the Master Collection or whatever the fuck it's called, I'm gonna Google it. I have a fantastic memory of Metal Gear Solid 4. But it's very, very rose-tinted glasses because my, like, you know, best mate in high school was a massive Metal Gear fan. Got me into, like, MGS 2 and 3. We played both of them together. And, like, mostly me just watching him play it and enjoying him watching play it. Like, enjoying him enjoying playing it and stuff. And, like, you know, that's how I discovered RE4 as well. Just basically watching him play through the game and loving it and stuff. And then neither of us had a PS3, and my mate went on holiday for, like, a long weekend in high school and was like, you can just borrow my PS3 for a weekend. I don't have Metal Gear, but just go buy Metal Gear and play it over, like, a long weekend. And just me and my friend sat down for, like, literally just 3-4 days of basically no sleep and only instant noodles of, like, just powering through Metal Gear Solid 4. And, like, that gives me a very good memory of MGS4, and I think it's probably a way to get a better game in my head now because of that memory. But yeah, I would love to revisit it. I would love to see how it's held up. Oh, man. Yeah, that must be, like, an actual experience. Compared to, like, me being like, yeah, man, I played instant noodles on the sofa. I played it eating instant noodles on the sofa. It's like, man, yeah, that must have been an experience and a half. But yes, I'm, like, really intrigued to see how MGS4 holds up, because in my brain I'm like, what a fucking cool game with the long ass amazing cutscenes and amazing boss battles and some weird shit going on, but that's Metal Gear. And, like, yeah, I'm so frustrated. Yeah, it was Metal Gear Solid Master Collection recently. And specifically, Master Collection Volume 1. At least as far as the Switch version is concerned. And the PS4 version, yeah. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1. And the audacity that they would have. I played Instant Noodles on the sofa. Yeah, technically grammatically correct. But yeah, like, the audacity they would have to, like, release a Volume 2 without Metal Gear Solid 4. Or make it like Metal Gear Solid 4 and 5 and Volume 3. But fuck, they just need to make Metal Gear Solid 4 playable again. I hope PS3 on my, like, on maybe that one just off camera there, but on one of my shelves behind me. And I can't be arsed to get Metal Gear Solid 3 from, like, that shelf, Metal Gear Solid 4 from that shelf, and my PS3 from that shelf, and play it again. Because, like, it's just put it on a modern console, upscale it a bit. The fact that you're releasing the Master Collection implies that that's happening. But they've basically put out Metal Gear Solid 4 and just the unwanted child, forget about it. It doesn't exist. Wild. Anyway. End of, like, my Zelda stream with just a big Metal Gear run. But, yeah. I love that game. I want to play that game remastered in a nice, convenient way. And it frustrates the hell out of me that it's, like, just stuck on the PS3 and really hard to play and doesn't run particularly great on there, and, you know, is probably nowadays a pretty blurry, like, 900p that doesn't look great on, like, a big TV. That's true as well, yeah. Metal Gear Rising. Don't forget, like, everyone's favorite Metal Gear Survive? Was it just called Metal Gear Survive, I think? That is true, some people will talk about Metal Gear every week. Alright, well, I mean, maybe people can tune in on Thursday to continue the Metal Gear talk. But yeah, if you would like to find Carl streams like Metal Gear Rising every Friday. Or every weekend, usually on a Friday, depending on his social life. But thank you for that plug there, Shadow. Go follow Carl's Twitch if you want Metal Gear Rising every week, where Carl just literally just plays Metal Gear Rising every week and loves the fuck out of it. If you want Metal Gear Solid 4 content, go elsewhere. If you want Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, Carl will provide it to you every fucking week. Beer. Metal Gear Solid. You missed that one, Shadow. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. But yes, I'll be back Thursday night. I haven't actually spoke to Carl to confirm. Presumably tomorrow on the Wiki Weekends channel, we will be streaming the Wiki Weekends podcast, 8 PM UK time. I presume that's happening. I haven't double confirmed with Carl, but that's our usual schedule right now. And then Thursday, 10 PM UK time, roughly, because it's normally like 1:15. I'll be doing competitive Pokemon battling on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet this week, and then, yeah, over the weekend, no doubt Carl will be doing some Metal Gear Solid. Hopefully we hit the 50 by Monday, that would be nice, yeah. But if not, it gives me an excuse to play like 4 hours of Balatro again and just get lost in numbers. Yeah, it was lovely to see you in chat, Dark Magician. Thank you all for joining, and I hope everyone has a lovely day, evening, or night, wherever you are. Thank you, everyone.